Hey Shaz, honestly, I'm so honoured to speak to you today. And first of all, I thought we'd just do a little like what it is you do, what amazing stuff you do.
Oh, well, thank you, Jill, for having me here today. I always love connecting with you, and it's such an honour that you've invited me here to share today. So, yeah, of course, I'm Shazney Spence, soul coach, and I am a woman who inspires and empowers people to speak their truth, to move from the messy middle into miraculous momentum. I help people to ditch the overwhelm and step into a place of clarity and calm. And I do that through coaching, through energy healing, through non-clinical medical mental health support, and just holding space for people to, recognize that it is possible, to recognize that they have so much power within them, and that things that they dare to dream are within reach. So that's a quick 30 seconds, 60 seconds of who I am. Oh, and I will say I'm the founder of the Super Soul Sanctuary. So I help kings and queens, men and women, people to really follow their self-compassionate bliss and to step into their power. My business is called Equanimity, and it's all about mental and emotional stability and balance. So that's my passion. That's my forte. That was what I was put on this earth to do.
And it's amazing. And so this podcast is called the Midlife Glow Up, okay? So that's kind of, I suppose, like the client age group that seem to come to me. And one of the top things that they say straight away is, well, I've just got no confidence. I've got no confidence, I mean, okay, lucky for me, I've got my own little studio, it's private, so we can kind of build their confidence. But confidence is something that seems around that midlife area, there's so many different things going on. And I know that's something that I think you're talking about it at an event soon, aren't you?
I am, yes. So Lynn Cutler from The Edge Events has got an event on the 28th of June over in Manchester, and it's coupling with Armani Beauty. So they're doing masterclasses all about inner beauty. But myself and Lindsay Hoffman, we are the speakers she's a lifestyle coach. I've told you what I do. We're really going to talk about how inner confidence and inner beauty can be achieved, not only in your personal life, but also in your business, and how you can show it with authenticity and be audacious, really. And, giving women the tools and the toolkits so that they can actually step into that level of confidence. Confidence comes through action. It's not something that you can just get. A lot of my clients come to me and say, Shazney, make me confident. What I can do is help you to peel back the layers of the limiting beliefs, to look at those stories that are making you believe that you aren't confident. We all have confidence within us. We've got that propensity to step into our best version. So yeah, I'm talking about this very subject at the end of June.
So I find that for my ladies, they won't even step foot inside a gym. They haven't got the confidence. So my job is to sort of maybe just take them through the motions, as you said, to give them the tools to be able to walk in there and be like, yeah, come on, I've got this kind of thing. Yeah. But do you think that there's, I think sometimes in midlife, there becomes a lot of crossroads.
Yeah.
Okay. And, I speak, Shaz, we've spoke. And I think the biggest one for me is not so much business. It wasn't that. In fact, for me, it was probably my son going to university. I lost my sense of purpose.
Yes.
And do you find I didn't know empty nest syndrome was a thing.
It is. I've had it.
I know now.
I've had it too. Sorry, do I think that?
But I was just wondering, at what point, how do these women that may be in these situations find their path? What can they do?
Yeah, great question. My clients come to me when they're at a crossroads or at that position of situational change, where I said at the very beginning, they're in this messy middle of, oh my gosh, everything's all up in the air. Who am I? What am I meant to be doing? I feel hopeless. I feel unworthy. I feel self-loathing. My body's changing. I don't know what this new midlife era is about. My kids have left me. My husband's doing my head in. There's all this stuff. There's all this stuff that's going on. So the first question I ask my clients is, who are you? Who are you? At your very core, without the labels, without the I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a sister, I am a girlfriend, I am a whatever job you do. I help them by peeling back the layers. Look at who you are. What do you stand for? What lights you up? What makes you really happy? And you know what, Jill? A lot of my clients in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I've got clients in their 70s, they've never had that moment of inflection. It's only when this situational change happens and then they're forced to look within that they think, oh, sugar, I don't actually know who I am. I don't know what lights me up. I don't know. And then they feel that they're not confident because they haven't got the answers to these questions. So what I help my clients to do is to really recognize that you have got the answer to the questions. You just need to be still and silent enough to tune in, come back into your body. So I'm very much a firm believer in breath work, somatic work, lifting weights, moving your body, getting your body in a space where you are witnessing your emotions. You know, the first step to healing is witnessing the emotions. Emotion is energy in motion. So we need to move our body to get the emotions up front and central, you know. So it's a mixture of stopping and just checking in with your reality, seeing who you are. And if you don't know, speak to someone who can help you, a coach, a trainer, find out who you are, and then have a real awareness of, right, okay, this is who I am. This is who I aspire to be. If at the moment you feel like you're lacking in confidence, you might have some body image things going on, but you actually want to become the opposite of that. The first step is coming back to your body, loving it where it's at. And I know that can be really difficult, but self-compassion is what dissolves the fear. So when you come back to your body and just think, right, okay, even though I feel this sense of unhappiness about my body, I still love and completely accept myself. And it might just be lip service at first, but eventually what you do is retrain the neural pathways to actually believe that story. It's about deprogramming. It's about lifting those limiting beliefs. It's about reframing those stories and making them into something beautiful instead. There's so much I can talk about, but I'm just going to park. Pause.
I think what you're saying, like from my approach as a coach, when a lot of my ladies come to me, and don't get me wrong, a lot of the time, the top priority is maybe weight loss, all right? But I try to change their way of thinking as to, okay, well, let's get good at this exercise. Let's go for this performance goal. To just try and change their mindset a little bit, to take away the weight loss goal, because it's quite, it can be quite soul destroying. They don't celebrate their achievements because they're so focused on this goal that they think is the most important goal, and actually it really isn't.
Absolutely.
And I find that if I can change the way they think about that, the weight loss stuff actually does come along.
It's a byproduct because they have started with the right foundation. And I say this to my clients all the time, you know, yes, have a clear, concise mental picture. I call it a CCMP. Have a clear, concise mental picture of who that woman is that you want to become, but don't just get that fixated on the outcome that you don't fall in love with the process. So I said this a long time ago, you know, divorce yourself from the outcome and fall in love with and marry the process. So the process of becoming is, you know, you peeling back those layers, celebrating your success, as you've just said. If you get good at this one thing, honor and approve of yourself by saying, go on, love, you did a good job there. And then moving on to the next. Replacing overwhelm with clarity and calm is breaking things down into sizable chunks. I am the queen of getting overwhelmed. That's why I teach people how to stop being overwhelmed. My default is to be overwhelmed and anxious. So I've invested a lot of money in myself, and I've done a lot of work with therapy and coaching that I now know how to shift that. So it's about pulling out different tools at different points in time so that you can celebrate your successes, break down the big chunks, recognize that, yeah, I'm going to do this one activity and then it's going to lead me to be stronger and more confident to do the next. So it's all in here. It's all mindset.
I think mine's procrastination.
Yeah, interesting. And I will say something about that actually, Jill, because I'm so passionate about the nervous system. You know, my job to help people move from overwhelm into clarity and calm is all rooted in awareness of their nervous system. A lot of my clients come to me and they are in that fright, flight, freeze response. They're just not getting stuff done. They're not making choices. They're not making healthy choices. They're going on a negative downward spiral. They're not taking aligned action. And that's often because their nervous system is dysregulated. We go through moments throughout our day of having dysregulated nervous systems. When you're in that autonomic nervous system, your body is on the accelerator. As you will know, all the hormones are pumping through our body. We've got high levels of cortisol, and you're just like, stop the world, I want to get off, but you just keep going with those behaviors. You get even more dysregulated. When you get into freeze response, that is similarly in that autonomic nervous system. And then that's when procrastination comes, because you're like, oh, I can't do anything. I can't move forward. So the tip is to get into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest, digest, a beautiful sweet spot where your vagus nerve is working beautifully. All your organs are being fed with all the good stuff. You're breathing deeply. Your heart and your head are in real coherence. There's a phenomenon called heart coherence. So when you're in that beautiful space of, that's when the calm happens. That's when you start to shift out of that freeze response. Procrastination goes out the window because you're like, right, let's do this. I'm going to do that one thing. I'm going to do that one exercise. I'm going to do that, make that one decision that then leads to more confident action. It makes sense, doesn't it, Jill? It's just no one teaches us this stuff.
It makes a lot of sense, but I think the whole procrastination thing for me was almost like when I did the first interview, like last week, I was like, oh my God, like my mic, I bought all that a year ago, actually longer than a year ago, to do these interviews. I think I even said to you a long time ago, like, oh, let's do this. And it's taken me this long. But this kind of goes off subject a little bit, right? But I think that maybe the pressure on people, women, social media, it's like it's got to be perfect. Well, you can't do that because that's not going to be perfect. And oh my God, like if you're seeing your forehead wrinkling, you can't get on camera. Like, and it's all those things that sort of, and like I'm still in a business group, and I can guarantee it's all mainly women. And every single one of them is like, oh, why? No, I'm not doing a live. Like, you've got to be joking. Like, I can't. And it's horrible to feel that way, but I think it's very common. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's so common.
It really is. So let's get into that then, as the TikTokers say.
Exactly.
Let's go into it. Yeah, we fall into, if we're not careful, that comparison trap. Comparison is the thief of joy. We know it. We know it on a conscious level. But how do we counter that on a subconscious level? Our subconscious mind is what runs the show. You know, 5% of what we do is conscious, 95% is unconscious. I always say that fear is the absence of love. So when we put lots of love into ourselves or into whatever we do, the fear just disappears. When we're fearful of being seen or sharing our message, it's because we're not being self-compassionate enough. So the thing that would shift that is to say, right, what would love do here? Love would tell me that I've got a message to share. Love would tell me that I can do whatever I want as long as it's to the highest good of all concerned, of course. And then I can take that audacious action. Love would big me up. It's that inner child that is screaming, saying, no, don't do it. People are going to judge you. People are going to criticize you. They're going to look at your forehead. They're going to look at the dodgy makeup. Who cares? Who cares? So I have this mindset, right, Jill, and hopefully it will help some of your clients. I'm a massive introvert, massive, but I counter that. I'm a public speaker. Go figure. I counter that by saying, right, this is not about me. This is my purpose. I have to share. And I tell myself, it's not about me. We were talking about this before, weren't we? It's not even about me. It's not about us. This is about reaching people. So when you tell yourself that, that's more self-compassionate than thinking, oh, I'm rubbish. No one's going to listen. It's you're being of service. You're helping people to move forward. So that self-compassion dissolves the fear.
I think that was because I read an article. I was reading an article from another sort of fitness presenter, and she was saying about, your message, and just think if it just helps that one person.
Yeah.
And then that made it almost like, well, actually, do you know what? I can help that one person. I have got the tools to help that one person. Yeah. And one of my recent clients has just been diagnosed with osteoporosis, and I know I've got the tools to help her with that and the knowledge. So that's kind of they're the things that I have to think about to push me over that uncomfortableness of seeing maybe if it be myself on camera or like a dodgy Instagram picture.
We've all done it. It's okay. And you know what? I'll tell you something. So when my most candid shares are out there on social media, I live on Instagram. That's my bag. When I share most candidly, no makeup, just going to the gym to get in fact, I did one the other day. I was in a real funk. And I said, I did a get ready with me kind of thing, or come with me as I shift from funk to ecstasy.
I just watched that.
I tell you what, Jill, it virtually went viral. I looked like I'd been dug up. I was in a funk, but my clients could relate to that. I am not polished, never have been, never will be, because when you share from an authentic place, it gives other people permission to be authentic as well. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that, with the authenticity versus perfection. So I always say that I strive for authenticity and not perfection. That takes me off the hook from needing to procrastinate or prevaricate and think, no, I need to get all the dots crossed and all the, what's the saying? Dot the I's and cross the T's.
Yeah.
No, if I've got something to share, I'll share it. And it's not to say that my stuff isn't, it's just sloppy. It's not that. It's just coming from a space of, right, I'm releasing myself of the need to be perfect, and I'm allowing myself to be authentic in the hope that it will help other people. Obviously, it's helping me anyway because it moves me forward to the next step. But this striving for authenticity rather than perfection stops you from being in that space of comparison as well. So I just don't look. I don't look at what other people are doing. And it's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm staying in my own lane. I have a journey and I have a clear, concise mental picture of what I want to share with people. And I have a clear, concise mental picture of the soulmate clients that I want to work with. So I don't really need to be looking elsewhere because for me, that's a distraction.
But I do think there is there are so many, especially I think in my business, fitness professionals, influencers, like my Instagram, like, my gosh, my hair's sticking up. I'm in the gym. I'll post and run now. Don't look at it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I often do the same because it's, like I say, it's not about it being polished. It's about sharing the message. And this is the thing, isn't it, Jill? With your clients as well. I believe that if we set an intention, take aligned action, we have a happy, fulfilled, confident, enriched life, the end. So if your clients want to learn a new technique in the gym, if they want to, their goal is to lose weight, set an intention. Say, right, what is it that I actually want from this program that I'm embarking on with Jill? What is it that I want to? What do I want to really flow into as I step into this? Set the intention, take the aligned action, and then have the result. So you filming and running, you've said your thing, you're off. I'm the same.
I think a lot of people, when they do come, and this is obviously, so I've seen, I know you're working out, Shaz. I've seen you in and out, going in and out the gym on your Instagram.
Thanks.
But how it shifts your mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was kind of another question I wanted to ask, because I think I even spoke about this the other week. Maybe people that don't exercise, and there's nothing against people that don't exercise, that's their bag, okay? But I don't sometimes think they realise how much it benefits and gets clarity.
Yes.
The way it makes you feel, the way suddenly you are standing that little bit taller and ready to face the world, and like, okay, come on, I've got this. So what do you think?
Oh, all of that. I work out for me. So I'm nearly 51, and every year I set a new intention. So last year, my intention around my fitness was I had a personal project, and it was #project Fitty 50. So every time I went to the gym or did a spin class or whatever, it was my intention was, right, I'm going to add something else to my project Fitty 50. This year, because I'm almost 51, it's the 51st state, #51st state. So whenever I go to the gym, I think, right, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to go for a walk today, because I'm making deposits into my 51st state little project me. That for me is self-compassion. That is me dissolving any fear of thinking I'll look stupid enough if I go into the gym or learn and go on a new piece of equipment or whatever. I just think, you know what, this is me being self-compassionate. This is me reaping those rewards that you talk about. Because every time I go to the gym or do a spin class or whatever it is, I come out and I just feel that high, that endorphin rush, that real belief that I've done something to honor and approve of myself. And the biggest impact I feel it is when I really don't want to go. But I get out of here, out of my head and into my heart. My heart loves me. My heart is the place where self-compassion lives. My heart is a place which grows. It's like fertilizer. It emits this stuff that is fertilizer for confidence, for worthiness, for courage, and really being in my body and empowered and activated and all that good stuff. It's about just doing it, just deciding. And interestingly, Jill, I have a real trigger with the word exercise personally. If I say, and this is just me personally, I don't really know where it's come from. Maybe I was a gymnast as a child, so I did a lot of exercise. And anyway, that's beside the point. I like to say, I'm going to go move my body today. Because if I'm lying in bed and I think, right, I've got to go exercise, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. But if I reframe it and say, right, Shazney, let's go move your body. I'm like, yeah, cool. Okay, then. Isn't it interesting how we're all different? But it's just my own way of talking to myself and talking myself into it. So I guess the point I'm making is, if some of your listeners have got a real block around exercise, weight training, or something else, call it something else. Today I'm going to go and deposit into my own project for the year. Today I'm going to practice
deposit into later life, basically, isn't it? Because it's your future self that's still, and I hate to say it, but you're still going to want to walk up the stairs. You're still going to want to be mobile with baby grandchildren.
Yeah.
When for me, I'd always taken Harvey to school, and then I used to take him to school, go to the gym, take him to school, go to the gym. So it just became this continuous habit all the time. And I do try and sort of if my clients are struggling, and I'm like, try and sort of tag it onto something, try and make it that habit so that you do this and then that comes after. And even now, obviously, as I said, he's at university. I still drive past the school and I go to the gym, and it's the same time. I don't even need to go that time, right? But it's just become so ingrained in what I do that it's just, I just do it. Just do it automatically. Don't think about it. Just do it.
No, exactly, because you have rewired from years and years ago your neural pathways, and we are so phenomenal as human beings. We can do that. We can change our beliefs. We can change those synapses in our brain, and by building in non-negotiables, that's how we do it. So that's a really good way of you doing that. You know, what I have every day, I take care of my pies. So if you were to write the word pies vertically on a piece of paper, the P is physical, so move my body. I is intellectual, E is emotional, and S is spiritual. So I make sure every day I do something to take care of my pies, and that builds in those non-negotiable habits. And you notice when you don't do them. You will notice if you don't do them. You will feel different. You won't feel as good. So I think that's really important to do, to build in those new neural pathways, rewrite those beliefs, and also take care of your pies, not these type of pies, even though I love those type of pies.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes, like other clients, but once they've done their stuff with me and then they've joined the gym or they've gone off, and they'll say, like, I never knew I could like exercise. I never knew that I could enjoy this now. I'm going like 4 times a week or 3 times a week. I never knew. And it's just getting that first sort of initial kind of step in the door, isn't it? I was having a little stalk up on your Instagram as well. As you do. And there was you did a post and it was like triumph skills.
Oh yeah.
Talent, passion, and purpose. And I loved that. Yeah. I thought that sounded so good. So tell me about it.
Yeah, sure. So you talked before about, some of your clients are at this crossroads and they don't know what their purpose is. I encourage all of my clients I was an accountant for 26 years. So I love maths. I love formulas. I love logic, as well as the not so logical, unseen, ethereal stuff. This formula is a game changer. If you're in your life and you're thinking, right, I don't know what's going on with me, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with where I'm at, start to look at your life through a lens of love and not judgment. It's always got to be love, heart-centered, dissolves the fear. And start with this formula. So the first part of the formula is triumphs or overcome. So think about it. What have I overcome? What have I triumphed? What have I got over in my life? So for me, mine was anxiety, depression, not feeling like I had a voice, having a lack of clarity as to what the heck I was meant to be doing on this earth. So triumph is the first bit, plus skills and talents. So what are your skills and talents? What are you good at? If you were to draw a little stick person and to put little lines coming off it, what would the skills and talents be? For me, I can talk, as you can tell. But what I'm skilled at is holding space for people. I'm really talented at being an empathetic encourager and allowing people to speak and be vulnerable and to share their stuff. So think about what your skills and talents are. Add, so plus, passions. So what are you passionate about? A lot of my clients come to me and they're like, I just don't even know what lights me up. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what I'm happy about. But there will have been a time in your life when you were passionate about something. If you know what you don't like, you know what you do like. So think about the things, or even if you can't see them right now, what would you like to be passionate about in this new version of you, this 2.0 version of you? So for me, I'm passionate about people, even though I'm an introvert. I do want people to win. I want people to recognize that they don't need to be in a place of struggle and that they can dance with life again. So think about that. The equals is purpose. So just running from the very beginning, it's triumphs / overcome, plus skills and talents, plus passions equals purpose. Once you crack that code and start to take aligned action, well, first of all, set the intention that you want to change things, then take the aligned action. The outcome is you living on purpose, being awake to not only what's going on around you, but being awake to what you're capable of. You are so worthy. We are all so worthy of fit, healthy, abundant bodies that serve us. We're worthy of love and affection and all the good stuff that comes along with having an enriched life. So I just love that formula, and it's helped thousands of people I've worked with to really.
And do you think though that that is more of a thing? I mean, obviously that's going to help everybody, but with the whole midlife thing, when women are, I think sometimes we've probably already spoke about this, but you do get to a point, and I think as you were saying, you are the mum, the wife, the sister, the this, the this, the that, and then everything.
They leave you, and then who are you?
Yeah, and it's such a sort of wake up call, isn't it? Like, and I think I know we're sort of talking about personal lives, but this sort of reflects on business too, doesn't it? Like the whole running your business, and I'm getting to a point where you think, oh, my business needs to evolve, but I'm feeling overwhelmed, like I don't know the next step. So all these things that you're saying, it seems so easy to sort of break them down. Maybe take that step back.
You know what, Jill? That is the key. It's nervous system again. When you're in that fight or flight mode, freeze, there's also a fawn stage in that autonomic nervous system. It gets a bad rep, but I like to use the fawn stage to my advantage. Take 7 seconds if you're feeling overwhelmed and just think, right, I'm just going to come back into my body. I'm going to breathe and just be here right now. I'm going to think about whether I need to say yes to that request or no to that request. I'm going to think about, does that even serve me? Do I want to do it? Does it light me up? All those things. In that 7 seconds, just step back, like you just said. Do that, and then you'll automatically go into the parasympathetic nervous system, where you're in that more measured phase, that phase of recognizing that actually clarity and calm is available to me. As we've said, in that position of situational change, it can feel so debilitating that you just think, well, what am I good at? What am I meant to be doing?
I think especially with men, obviously women going through the menopause as well, how that can sort of affect your mental health, confidence, all those things. There's a point, a lot of my ladies have sort of said, and I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that, and is it menopause or is it? It could be such a confusing time.
It can. I think the key, if you are in that, well, most women are in that situation, give yourself some grace, and the self-compassion has to be there. And it's not all about bubble baths and getting your nails done. The self-compassion is, well, what do I need in this moment? And something that's really powerful that makes us all feel empowered is if you are in that moment of just thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm losing my head because of menopause, perimenopause, whatever it is, give yourself some grace, give yourself permission to just notice what you're feeling. Don't just push it down. As women, we're so adept at pushing it down. That's why we have gynae issues, because we push it all down into our womb energetically. Just give yourself time to think, right, okay, what am I feeling? And what do I need? And what would feel better than this? So that's the self-compassion. And I mentioned it at the very beginning. Ask yourself, what would love do here? Well, oftentimes love would say to you, you know what, just remove yourself from the situation. Go and give yourself what you need right now. It could be some silence. It could be stillness. It could be saying yes to something, or saying generally yourself, or saying no to something. It could be asking for help, which is sometimes as women, it's really hard to do that. It's not a sign of weakness. Vulnerability is a superpower. Ask for what you need. So it's having this awareness, accepting where you're at, and then taking the action. It's this triple A approach: awareness, acceptance, and action. And when we practice the pause, it gives us that opportunity to just say, right, okay, what's going on? Journal. I'm a firm believer in journaling, and not Dear Diary, but ask yourself a question. If I was to trust myself, if I was to really fully love and accept myself right now, what would that feel like? The subconscious part of you knows the answer, but we just need to still be still enough and silent enough to hear
it. Do you think, though, that we are programmed to... I've got 2 daughters, as you know, and they are firm believers, and I think this is, again, a society thing, that you have to do it all.
Yeah.
You have to do it all as a woman. You've got to be the good mother. You've got to be keep the good house. You've got to, and not only that, now with the help of social media, you've got to look a certain way as well. So it's not surprising there's a huge whole shitstorm of overwhelm around, is it, really, when you think about it? And it's so unrealistic.
It is. So I've forgotten the question.
I think it was more of a rant than a question, but
no, but I agree with everything that you said there. There's a whole, I remember now. There's a whole, because of us as women, right? We are, whether you've physically given birth to children or not, we have this innate ability to nurture, to create life. I'm not just talking about human life. We are so freaking powerful. We can do so much. Another thing that I talk to my clients about, as well as the nervous system piece and moving your body, I'm not a fitness coach, but it all comes in. There's also this piece which relates to what you've just said, your rant, your question, your valid points. Balancing your feminine and masculine energy. I started to have an awareness of this probably in 2017, when I started working with a particular coach for myself. And she said to me, Shazney, you're so in your masculine energy. And I was like, I didn't really understand what she meant. I thought she was saying I was a masculine person. And it was only really when I started to research and get her insights and listen to her cues that I recognized that she was right. Now, for the purpose of clarity, and I'm probably teaching people to suck eggs here, but I'm going to explain what I mean. We all have, whatever sex you identify as, we all have masculine and feminine energy. The masculine energy is the doing. If you were to draw masculine energy, it would be very linear, A, B, very goal orientated, very logical, very pragmatic. The feminine energy, on the other hand, is very much like an infinity sign. It's very flowy and, soft. The feminine energy is all about being, not doing, nurturing, intuition, allowing, surrender, all that good stuff. When we're too much in our masculine, we're doing everything for everybody else and forgetting ourselves. We are not allowing ourselves to come back home into our body and just feel, actually, I've got a bit of tension. What does that mean? It needs my attention. We don't come back into our body. We don't nurture ourselves. We don't inquire. We don't give ourselves the empathetic compassion that we need. So as soon as I started to be aware of this, it shifted the game for me, Jill, because there are some days as a business owner, I 100% have to be in my masculine because I need to negotiate prices, I need to get stuff done, I need to pay taxes, I need to do all that stuff. But now I spend more time in my feminine. That feminine energy is having weekends free, sacred Saturday and Sunday. If you message me at the weekend, I'm probably not going to answer, to be honest, because that's self-compassion to me. That's me nurturing my spirit, filling up my cup, really holding space for myself. So my invitation to your listeners, to the people who are going to revisit this live, is where are you on that masculine and feminine? Is the seesaw tipped one way or another? And it's the key is having the balance. How often are you pouring love into yourself?
I bet not that much. You know, judging by listening to the amount of ladies that come into my studio, I think it's probably there's probably not that many that even do that.
No.
You know, they are the doers. They are the.
Of course they are, because they can.
Yeah.
Because they can. You know, we as, and I'm not bashing males here, but as women, we can do 52 things and still be thinking about the 53rd thing. But so often we are so busy outpouring that feminine energy and nurturing and compassion outwardly that we forget ourselves. Now, my challenge to everyone is that people say to me, why do you always go to the gym? Why are you always posting yourself on social media doing workouts? I'm not the best workout outer, but I do it for 2 reasons. No, there's probably 3 actually. I don't know. Anyway, let's think. The first reason is because there's 3 reasons I remember now. The first reason is I want to hold myself accountable, because that's me saying, right, consistency. I've done it today. And it's me pouring love into myself. So that's the other thing. It's holding myself accountable. It's pouring love into myself because I know how great I feel afterwards. And thirdly, it's inspiring women of my age and men that they can do it too. So it's giving other people the gift of possibility. And I'm not saying I'm the best trainer. I don't need to be. I'm just being authentic. I'm just being me. But hopefully somewhere out there will say, oh my gosh, look, she's doing that for her, not to get likes, not to get comments. I'm not bothered about that. It's about me holding myself accountable, pouring love into myself, and also inspiring people to know that it's possible for them too.
100%, and that's probably one of the reasons why I keep up with my social media, because I think if I had the choice, I actually wouldn't.
Me too.
But I want women of my age to think that they're capable of more.
Yes.
I mean, I'm only talking obviously within the workout situation, but people, oh my God, I couldn't do that. I'm like, no, you can.
You can. It's mindset. It's mindset, and it's making a decision. It's deciding. We're so powerful. We've already agreed on that, especially as women. We can do it if we can just decide that that's what we want. And you're right, Jill. You know, it's about giving people that permission. I like to think of myself as giving people permission slips left, right, and centre. You know, I'm always giving people permission slips to honour and approve of themselves, to do the inner work, to do the physical work, the mental work, to take care of their own pies, physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual.
So we've spoken for ages. I don't want to
great.
But what I was going to say, so that just briefly then, right?
Yeah.
I'm at a crossroads, Shaz. Don't know where to. I'm not. I'm just. This is hypothetically. This is a hypothetical question. For some of my ladies that are maybe, 50-ish, around that area, feeling pretty low, not really sure which direction to go in. What would be your sort of? I know you can't sum it all up in one.
I will endeavour to sum it up. Thank you for that question. First of all, on the 6th of June, Jill Laws and Shazney Spence are giving you an Access All Areas pass to yourself. That Access All Areas pass is AAA, gets you backstage and everything. It's amazing. But you have to look at that, use that pass with not judgment, but with self-compassion. So that Access All Areas pass starts with you saying, right, what's my current reality? Not judging it, not saying, oh, I've got love handles, I've got 3 double chins. No. Just be aware. Where are you right now? And even though that might fill you with dread, it might fill you with disgust or whatever. Love and accept yourself wholly for where you are right now. And then that's the awareness. That's the acceptance as well. Accept that you have got a choice. There's always a choice. And there are always people who will help you. There's 2 of them on the live now. Secondly, take some aligned action. The first step to healing or moving from the messy middle into miraculous momentum is witnessing the emotion. What are you feeling? What do you want to feel instead? What would feel better than this? What would love do here? Have a clear, concise mental picture of the 2.0 version of you, not the version that everyone else expects you to be, but the version that you are ready to step into. And notice I said step into. Oftentimes with fitness, with life coaching, soul coaching, all that stuff, people think they've got to step up, which then leads them to be in that nervous system of fight, flight, freeze. When will I get out of there? It's too scary. Don't step up, step into it with ease, grace, and self-compassionate bliss, because you are so worthy of all of the abundance. But have an idea, what does abundance look like in the first place? This clear picture. What is it that would feel more? What would feel better? What would feel more affirming? What would feel more enriching? What would feel more confident? As soon as you know that, then you can take the steps. I think that will do.
Oh, thank you, Shaz. That's so lovely. And it is definitely, confidence is definitely an inside job, isn't it? And it sometimes needs a little bit of work. So just quickly then, although I'll put all your details on this, where can people find you?
www.shazneyspence.co.uk, and it's Shazney with an E. You can find me on Instagram. That's where I like to hang out, and it's at Shazney Spence _soul coach. If anyone wants to reach out to me, everyone gets a complimentary 30-minute call with me, should they wish to have one.
I
will. Of course.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you, darling. That was amazing. I loved it.
Done.